We are coming into Skagway. We're in a pretty narrow passageway. It's supposed to be a beautiful day again. Coming into the dock of Skagway. We've got company. Day 6 was a visit to Skagway, a real old-fashioned mining town. This is downtown Skagway. Many of the old buildings still stand, including the Red Onion Saloon and a train station that also houses coffee and souvenir shops. We booked a trip that took us over the Canadian border to the Yukon Suspension Bridge with a history of Skagway and lots of beautiful scenery along the way.
It's a pretty interesting place. I mean, what kind of town has a building that's got over 8,000 pieces of driftwood on it? I love this one. Yeah. The Arctic Brotherhood. It was an old fraternal order here in town. And if you wanted to join it, all you had to do is one very simple thing. You had to climb to the top of this giant old mountain here on the left. It's over 5,500 feet tall. If you could get to the top, there's an old stone tablet on it. A little message was engraved. You'd memorize it, walk into the AV hall and recite it, and they'd let you join just like that.
Wow.
But all of these buildings here, they're all originals. Even though most of them are jewelry stores nowadays, they're all made from 1897 to 1899. It's pretty exceptional. But it's kind of strange because hardly any of them are actually in their original locations. You see, in 1902, they decided to move them all around just kind of for fun. And this was an awful process. They broke more than half of them doing so. So they were rolling them on logs or carrying them, getting tired or dropping them. It's just a mess. But one of them actually did go pretty smooth. They set it down and it was just perfect. And it was our Red Onion Saloon, the brothel of all things, went off without a hitch. And they set it down, started looking at it, and realized they hadn't messed up this much yet. So they set the whole building down completely backwards. It was facing the wrong direction. I don't know how you mess that up, but they did. So instead of, working harder, they worked smarter. And they cut the front end off, and they cut the back end off, and just switched the faces out. If you go in there to get a drink or a bite to eat or something, you can, still see where they cut the whole thing up.
Oh my
This
gosh.
very unspectacular gray one here in the corner, Alaskan Power and Telephone, this used to be a lumber mill. And this lumber mill was built by Captain James William Moore. Now, he was the first man to settle Skagway. He arrived here in 1886. And when he did, he built that little cabin there on the right.
Oh.
It's the oldest building here in town, and it's about 100 feet from where it originally stood. Now, he and his son, Ben, they actually shared this cabin for over a decade. And then his son made the much bigger and nicer house there on the right, the one with the blue paint and green trim. I'm sure you've seen the bizarre amount of jewelry stores these little Alaska parks have. Yeah, it's a head scratcher for sure. And Skagway's not exempt. We have 23 ourselves. But the original, the first one, is here on the right. Kermsey's Curiosos with all the totem poles. Wow. And it's one of the few buildings that's still in its original location. Now, Kermsey, this guy, he came here from Germany, 1897, and he was a watchmaker. And to advertise that he was in business, what he did was he climbed up this mountain here and he painted that giant clock on the rocks. I'm sure some of you have noticed it walking through town, the Kermsey's cross next to it.
Oh.
And that was just kind of like a billboard of sorts, letting people know where he could get their pocket watches, And there's a whole bunch of other paintings up there, but nowadays the National Historic Park only really repaints that one. We haven't lost that bit of history because of it. And this red building here is home to the Days of 98 show. It's the longest running play in America that's not on Broadway Street, 126 years consecutive. And to advertise that they're going to have a show, the women, they dress up in their, in period costumes, and they'll dangle their legs out of that second-story window, and it causes quite a scene just in the streets. You see, it comes with its own series of catches, too. We may have a clinic, but we don't actually have any doctors. That's the one. See the White Pass and Yukon Route building here on the right? It's the second largest here in Skagway. It's ironic because our public school is actually the largest building here in Skagway. You might wonder why that's ironic. Well, I'll tell you. Average graduating class here in town is between 1 and 3. And not 1 in 300, 1 in 3 kids. Some years we have 0. It's not an uncommon occurrence. But this last year, 2024, we had 8 children receive diplomas all at once.
Wow.
It was the largest class Skagway had ever seen. So to celebrate this, they closed down Broadway Street. No one could go shopping because all 8 of those kids had a little parade just for themselves. It's awful cute, I have to admit. Something much better than, some kind of pipe. It's Pitchfork Waterfalls. Pitchfork Falls are actually the second longest in all of southeast Alaska. They're about 3,400 feet from top to bottom. And towards the bottom, they actually split off into 2 separate passages, giving it its name, Pitchfork Falls. It's quite incredible.
There's a lack of trees on these mountains.
Beautiful. But that valley down there, that ravine, that gorge, that is what we call the Dead Horse Gulch. Colorado or anywhere where you have the Rocky Mountains, 7,400 feet isn't a big deal. We're only 13 miles out of town and already we can see a world of difference taking place. This is called the Tormented Pass, the Tormented Valley. It didn't get this name for nothing. See, the average annual snowfall, this section of the road in the valley we are about to enter, is 45 feet throughout the winter. Yeah, that's a massive difference right there. The highest it's ever been recorded was 73 feet. I mean, that is 7 stories of snow. That is unbelievable. Temperatures that can be 20, 40 degrees below zero. Winds that can reach up to 70 miles an hour. Then you combine that with our lack of daylight. Suddenly, these trees begin to make a little more sense. Out here because there's no real vegetation for them. So there's no wolves hunting them. There's no rivers full of salmon or berries, so there's no bears up here. This is a very, very desolate area. Now, we will drive throughout the extent of the valley and enter into the boreal forest, so we do have a chance to see some of those things. And every waterfall and stream and river that we've seen today is just melting ice. All the little lakes and ponds and pools out here is just melting snow and ice.
Oh, look at that.
And they actually cross over a little creek right here too.
Oh, there it is.
Canadian Customs.
We're at the Yukon Suspension Bridge. There it is. Okay, this bridge is moving. I overcame my fear of heights to walk over the bridge, clinging to the chain link fence on either side all the way. You see Roger waving? I just did that. Fraser, Canada. Oh, wow. Say hi.
Hey.
Yeah.
Upon our return, we just had to get lunch at the Red Onion. The fun we had was even better than the food, and that was very tasty. We're at the Red Onion Saloon in Skagway, and they have a reindeer fart. It's a shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's peppermint shots.
It is delicious.
Schnapps. Okay, it's delicious. Let's see.
Delicious.
Delicious.
Whipped cream?
Would I ever say no?
I got salmon dip and Roger got a pulled pork sandwich. Well, there it is. Back on the ship, we had lobster tail for dinner, enjoyed a little more fun with the crew, and took in a show.
Please call the chef and let him know so that he can prepare a breakfast for you.
Emily, the dreamer, and me, all of us under its spell. We know that it's probably magic. This is the sweet sound that calls the young sailor. What waste might be one and the same.
In our room, we were greeted by a cute little towel character. Another memorable day in the books.